Hare Krishna everyone, hope you had a lovely day. Welcome to Soma Vedic Astrology channel. Today we will discuss about the first house of a birth chart in Vedic astrology. The first house is the house of self, and hence it is also called as the Tanu power. Depending on which sign is arising in the first house, it becomes, you become that zodiac sign ascendant. So first house is also called as the lagna or the ascendant. Now let us see what all things can we see from the first house. But before that, you should understand the importance of the first house. First house is part of the Dharma Trikon as well as the Kendra houses. Okay, first house is the most important house as it shows your own self. Okay, whether you will be able to enjoy the all aspects of your life or not. Okay, any type of aspect, be it material aspect, spiritual aspect, name, fame, status, money, wealth, marital bliss, all type of aspects of your life, whether you will be able to enjoy it or not. And also in events of misery or very hard times, okay, a strong first house will drag you out of that miserable conditions only because your ascendant is strong. So the importance of first house is very much. Now let us see what all things can we see from the first house. The first thing is your own self. So your physical features, your appearance. Okay, so whatever you see in in the appearance of a person, the physical features, maybe you see the body structure, whether a person is thin, medium, fat, the height, short, medium, tall height, complexion of a person, fair, whitish, dusky, whether you have the full physical body or not, whether there are some deformities in your body, your appearance, your beauty, facial expressions. Now all these is generic physical appearance. Now the flavor or what exact type it will be, it depends on the planet and the zodiac sign of the first house. The next thing that we see is the overall personality, your general attitude towards whatever aspects of your life, towards people, towards your work, towards your maybe marriage. Basically it shows the general attitude that you have, your nature, the gestures that you do, the subconscious behavior. The next thing that we see is the intellectual capacity. What is your thought process? As we all know, if there is a certain situation given to three-person, there you can get literally three approach or thought process regarding that situation. So this is what uniquely defines every individual, every being. So your ego, okay, your thought process, your intellectual, the way you think, everything comes in, it becomes a part of first house. Since first house is showing your personality and everything, it also shows your it shows everything with regards to the physical body of yourself. That is the reason it also shows your health and vitality. Okay, how healthy you are, how fit you are, whether you actually work on your physical body or not, whether your immunity is good or not. If there are afflictions to the first house, there is bound to be some form of disease, or whether the body is weak. So all these things we can see from the first house. First house also shows the sexual orientation that a person has. Along with the eighth house, we can also see the eighth house for this matter. The next thing that we see is the influence on the public. Okay, how much you can influence the public. Now we have seen some people in the past who have literally won torn jeans, and then later the torn jeans became a fashion statement. So that is only possible when a person has a considerable influence on the masses, whether you are, charming or not. So this influence on the public also becomes part of the first house. The next thing that we see is the birth conditions, whether you were born into this world easily, or you resisted when you were coming out of the womb of your mother. How easy, how difficult was your birth? What were the conditions in which you were getting birth? Like you were in some AC hospital, in some AC room, or you were literally getting birth in some airplane or in a crisis situation. So basically it shows how you came into this physical world from the womb of your mother. The next thing that we can see from the first house is new beginnings. First house is the house where it shows yourself, how you're coming into this world, your birth, and any a new beginning that you have in life. Okay, new journeys that you have in life, impressions about you starting something new, new initiatives. The first things, new beginnings, it can be seen from the first house. Apart from this, your life path, your direction in life, where you are heading to. Okay, these all things can be seen from the first house. And the nakshatra of the ascendant also plays a huge role to determine your life path and life direction. Now let us see the people associated with the first house. So as we have already discussed, the first house is, it's only about you and you only. So yourself is basically seen from the first house. Now let us see the places associated with the first house. So we can see the pregnancy room, or rather the environment in wherein you are taking birth. It shows the journey from the womb of your mother, from that inner world to this outer physical world. We can also see places where you're doing some kind of a solo individualistic projects or initiatives. Now let us see the career related to the first house. So to see the career with respect to the first house, we can see where the 10th house, first house is getting connection with which house. So those careers is good. Apart from that, if you have to just see from the first house, then we can say that the work in the fields where your public image and personality is playing a key role. Okay, that kind of work is seen from the first house. Apart from that, politics or person who are at a higher post, we can see that. We can also see work in the field or job where you yourself are a product. Okay, you are not selling any product, but rather you yourself being a product. If there is any careers like that, so that can be seen from the first house. Maybe big business person, or an influencer, or a counselor. So all these things can be seen. And since first house also shows the fitness level of a physical body, we can also see sports personality. But to confirm the sports personality, it needs to be connected from the fifth house as well. Now let us see which body parts are associated with the first house. So the body parts are mind, brain, head, hair, skin, skull. So afflictions to the first house can lead issues to any of these body parts. Maybe as basic as headache. Now let us see the relation of first house with the other houses of the chart in Vedic astrology. First house is second from the 12th house. Second house is the house of accumulated wealth, and 12th house is the house of foreign lands, spirituality, isolated environments. So 12th from second shows the wealth that you're gaining through your spiritual path, path, the wealth that you're gaining by living in some isolated environment, or wealth that you're gaining from foreign lands. First house is third from the 11th house. 11th house is the house of elder siblings. Third house is the house of communications, risk taking ability. So third from 11th shows the communication style of your elder sibling, the risk taking ability of your elder sibling, the risk taking ability of your friends and network circle. First house is fourth from the 10th house. 10th house is the house of your career, and fourth house is the house of happiness, comforts. So fourth from 10th shows that how much you feel happy or sad in your work and in your work environment, whether work environment brings you joy or not. First house is fifth from the 9th house. Fifth house is the house of Purva Punya, past life blessings, and ninth house is the house of father. So fifth from ninth shows the past life blessings of your father, due to which you are coming into this physical existence. First house is sixth from the 8th house. So sixth house is the house of debts, diseases, enemies, and 8th house is the house of your in-laws. So sixth from 8th shows the debts of your in-laws, the diseases, the enemies of your in-laws. First house is seventh from the 7th house. 7th house is the house of your partner, your spouse, okay, your legal association. So seventh from 7th, which means partner of your partner, which means your own self. So first house shows your own self. First house is 8th from the 6th house. 8th house is the house of transformative events, and 6th house is the house of your maternal uncle. So 8th from 6th shows the sudden transformative events in the life of your maternal uncle, the sudden gain, sudden losses which your maternal uncle has. First house is ninth from the 5th house. 5th house is the house of your children, especially your first kid, and ninth house is the house of luck, fortune, your religious beliefs, the ethics. So ninth from 5th shows the luck and the fortune that your children has. What is the religious beliefs of your children, whether your children are moral, whether they follow the ethics and principles, or whether they are a rule breaker. So all these things we can see from the first house. First house is 10th from the 4th house. 10th house is the house of career, and 4th house is the house of mother. So 10th from 4th shows the career, reputation, the name and fame of your mother. First house is 11th from the 3rd house. So 11th house is the house of gains, profit, and 3rd house is the house of communication, younger siblings. So 11th from the 3rd shows gains that you get from your communication, okay, your courage. 11th from 3rd also shows the gains of your younger siblings. First house is 12th from the 2nd house. 2nd house is the house of accumulated wealth, family, and 12th house is the house of losses, house of expenses. So 2nd from 12th can show the expenses that your family does, the loss of family wealth. Now let us see some terminologies which is associated with the first house. The first terminology is the Kendra house. House number 1, 4, 7 and 10 are called as the Kendra houses. These 4 houses shows the 4 main pillars of one's life, which is yourself, your spouse, your career and your happiness. Kendra houses are the houses of Lord Vishnu, and these houses blesses a person with good health, wealth, and wisdom. Fourth is the more auspicious house than first. Seventh is more auspicious than the fourth house, and 10th house is the more auspicious house than the seventh house. First house is also part of the Trikona houses, okay? The Dharma Trikon. House number 1, 5, and 9 are the Dharma Trikona. These are the most auspicious houses. House number 5 and 9 both, relate to the past life good deeds and the luck and the fortune. All these three houses are the Lakshmi Sthanas, okay? The most fortunate houses of all the houses of the birth chart, okay? In these houses one needs to be righteous in one's act, be truthful, follow all the good deeds, okay? And if one is not doing it, you're automatically spoiling your luck and fortune, as both these elements are interrelated. House number 1, 5, and 9, is the part of Dharma Trikon, which also shows, the journey of your spiritual, path. I hope you guys must have liked the video. Please do not forget to subscribe the channel. Also, please do let me know in the comment section below what more videos would you like to see. Thank you.